Why have I had to hit Thomas? Why did my son kick Koko? And why does this toy review come to a grinding halt? Welcome aboard as we have a half-baked comparison between the Thomas and Friends Easy Go RC Thomas and Chuggington RC Koko. Both of these toys are large, lovely models which have some surprising differences. But one of these toys will fail me, leaving the audience to decide the fate of this crippled toy. Somewhere later on you will see the Thomas and Friends Kiddies harness, nothing like a Thomas on your back. Both these toys are battery powered using AA batteries. Thomas requires 3 to power him and 2 more inside his transmitter. Koko also requires 3 inside for power and 3 in the transmitter. That's 1 more than what Thomas has. So all up that's 5 AA batteries for Thomas and 6 AA batteries for Koko. Both these models are very typical of the way each company renders their characters in toy form. Thomas comes with a cheerful face, and even though he's missing some elements, he doesn't disappoint. Any child who receives this toy will be very happy considering the age group it is targeted at. Koko is styled in the typical attention to detail I've become accustomed to with Chuggington toys. It's a credit to them to see such beautifully rendered toys. This is certainly warming up to be an epic face-off, and one point to notice is Thomas is devoid of a coupling, where Koko has one. Seeing this immediately adds to the playability of Koko. Don't worry Thomas fans, Thomas comes with a sound chip and a light effect in his funnel. The way these toys are motivated is very different. Thomas has 2 rear driving wheels which have traction tyres, and a small toggling wheel which makes Thomas turn when he's moving backwards. All of his other wheels are locked and don't spin. One interesting safety feature on the drive wheels is they only work when Thomas is on the ground. This would decrease the chance of hair entanglements. And now Koko, and look, there's even details under the train. This toy uses large hard rubber tyres on the 2 drive wheels. Even though they look fairly solid, I assure you they are rubbery. All of the other wheels on Koko do spin, and the drive wheels either work together for forward movement or independently to create a spin. This is similar to how a tracked vehicle like a tank would work. The controllers are very different. Thomas's is small and round. There's an on-off switch on the side, a forward button and a turn button. It's almost abstract to what remote controllers look like, but it's perfect for tiny hands. Koko has a far more traditional remote control design. I can't find an on-off switch, but for me this remote feels far more familiar, with its 2 well-indicated control buttons. And before we start to play, let's take a look at these models against their counterparts. And I think this is the real way for you to see just how large these beautiful RC toys are. I know Thomas and Friends have done large versions of Thomas in various other forms, but this RC Chugger is one of the first of the larger versions of these toys for that franchise. I set myself a small challenge to drive both of these toys from a start point, drive them around on the table and then finish back on that same start point. I'm really hoping that this is a demonstration of how the 2 different drive mechanisms work in each model. I'm blabbering on here because the Thomas model emanates the Thomas theme continually when it's driving, and when you pull up it makes like a steaming noise. And I'm pretty sure the Content ID system will hear this tune and decide to send me a copyright strike. And now for Koko, and again I'm setting myself a challenge to go back to the spot where I started from, and Koko does feel like a far more brisk performer. I'm hoping here you can see the action of Koko's spin is very different to the way Thomas turns. This is the first of a number of challenges I have set out for these 2 models, but as you're going to see soon, all this comes to an abrupt halt. The next little challenge was a test of strength, just to see which one of these toys could push the other one around. And during this test is when Thomas started to feel like he was really playing up. He wasn't doing what I was asking him to do by pushing those buttons. Mind you, Koko was working like a slave, very responsive, very fast, and a little bit more powerful I feel than the Thomas model. Well, I'll let this play out and you can just watch and see what happens next. Yes, sadly, Thomas stopped being responsive to my remote control commands, and for some very strange reasons, Koko takes a dive. Mind you, it was quite a happy bounce. Well, I was mucking around there and I was just doing a thing between Koko and Thomas, and Thomas got stuck, and I don't know what's going on here. I can't get him to move. This is not looking good for Thomas. There's something going on. He's not driving anymore. I'll change his batteries and we'll see what happens. Because I hope this is nothing too serious. I've only just pulled this out of the box, and I was hoping to do a lot more with it before this review comes to an end. Now let's get these batteries out and check those first. I'll put new batteries in to start with. The battery still looks good. That one's good. Oh, this is so boring doing this, but I've got to do it to show you guys. That battery's good. Oh, that battery's good as well. Oh dear. And, you know, I've said it before, I'm possibly the last person on the planet you want to have land a toy with a problem. Although that's sort of the nature of the beast. You can get unlucky. I seem to get very unlucky, and I'm not pinpointing the Thomas fraternity here. Let's try this again. Before I hop in and turn it on, I'll show you how much I paid for the Thomas remote. It was $30, and I think Koko was roughly the same price, but I bought Koko at Target. Look, I look at a lot of Thomas stuff. In fact, I look at a lot of toys, and please, I'm not having a go at the Thomas empire here. This is a fantastic toy. Unfortunately, it seems this one's got some problems. It's really sad because I was going to take these down to the park and have the backpack on my boy and have a bit of fun outside with the trains and just show you the children playing with the trains. I'll turn him back on. Please, Thomas, please work. Please. No. Try reverse. No. You know, I watched Happy Days, and often Fonzie would come up and hit something and it would work. Will it work for me? Am I like the Fonz? No, I'm not like Fonzie. Well, here's what I'm going to do, and it's a little bit unprecedented for me. Of course, I was planning on doing a beautiful Thomas versus Chuggers RC standoff, and of course go outside and showcase this little Kiddies, what do you call it, control device. It's a thing you strap on the back of your young children to control them. But it's also better than that. It's also a thing that you can store things inside. It's a very nice little item. And we're going to have a bit of fun at the park, but that's come to a grinding halt because Thomas here has broken down basically straight out of the box. Really sad, actually. Normally, as a consumer, you are within your rights to return goods that are faulty. I paid $30. I think I said that before for this beautiful little RC Thomas. I'm on two minds here. I'm very curious about why he stopped. If it's an electronic problem, I'm probably not going to be able to work it out. If it's a mechanical problem, I'll probably see that. Maybe the audience can tell me. Would you like me to go in, do an autopsy on Thomas? Let's pull him apart and let's have a look inside. Or would you like me just to return him and pick up this review where we'll go down to the park and we'll have a bit of a play day? It's up to you. You tell me what you want. Do you want me to pull apart Thomas to see how he looks like inside and see if we can fix him? Or do you want me to go back to the store, see if I can return it? Now the trouble there is that most probably this beautiful little Thomas would have gone. He would be a very, very popular toy. I'm just obviously very unlucky, I feel. I mean, I haven't gone onto the internet to see if this is a common problem. That's what you do. You go on the internet, you see in the forums if parents are talking about this toy. I haven't done that. Maybe this video will trigger some comments about anything that you know about this RC Thomas. I better leave it at that. Sorry about this. I really am sorry. Do remember to leave a comment, autopsy, or return to the shops and pick it up from there. Well, I did take Koko outside and let my son play with this toy. It's the first time he's played with this RC Koko. And of course, he really did enjoy playing with it. But I tell you what, I would have much preferred to see him have a choice between Koko and Thomas, and we could have seen which one he gravitated towards. And take note of his little Thomas backpack. It's so cute. Oh, the old slide trick. Uh-huh. You want to chug up there?
Up there, Dad.
You ready for the chugger slide? Go.
Oh no. Ah. I'm doing that one. Getting that. I'm digging. Doing that one. I'm doing that one. Go. Bye.
Oh, epic crash.
Okay.
And thank you very much for your time. I will pick this video up once you tell me what you want me to do with Thomas. You want me to pull him apart and check him out, or send him back to the shops. Again, thank you. Bye.